Hello, welcome once again to the Johnny Come Latelys podcast, episode 7, I think. I am Monodrew.
And I'm Cambrian.
Hello, and yes, I do apologise. This show and the events speaking about it, although we don't often cover current events, at the very least, they're probably about a week behind because this show has been recorded ahead of time. I just feel like I should say this. I probably shouldn't have. It probably doesn't matter anyway. So how are you?
Yeah, doing good. Just working hardly. Looking forward to Halloween because we are at the run-up.
I remember last Halloween they had some skull-shaped tea lights. I ended up buying one. I kind of want some more, but I was going to use them for tarantula decorations. So
nice.
I'm on the lookout for more of those. So I might snap them up if I can get them. But
yeah, I managed to find some jack-o'-lantern ones.
Oh, they're really cool.
Yeah, I don't want to use them though. That's the thing.
So I'm just trying to think if there's anything sort of like not too heavy to start off with.
Well, I suppose like I do want to do some more videos on the run-up to Halloween, in as much as I might do like game or movie videos, like just illustrating what ones are good.
Like horror themed?
Yeah. If you were going to do your top 10s, I know you did one last year, wasn't it?
Oh, I did, what was it? It was something like a top 7 scary levels in non-horror games.
Yeah, they were great.
I could do, but I think I've kind of used up some of the best ones.
Yeah, I mean, you could just do actual horror games though now.
I suppose. Ever since I finished the Silent Hill playthrough, I've been meaning to maybe starting some of the other ones.
Oh, that was great as well. I was honestly tempted to do a Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and Dino Crisis playthrough.
Oh, nice.
Because I have all the Silent Hills, apart from like some of the rarer ones that you do have.
Mm-hmm.
All of the Resident Evils, and I've only got Dino Crisis 1. I do believe there's 3. I might be wrong on that one.
I know there's at least 2. I'm not sure if there was a third. It basically plays the same as any Resident Evil games. I've got the first one, but I've never gotten that far into it 'cause it was quite difficult.
Yeah, no, it is.
You run into like the T-Rex very early.
Yeah, no, I've gotten past that bit. I love that sort of game though. Like I might do those 3 as like complete playthroughs.
Mm-hmm.
I've been buying a lot of retro consoles lately. Like I think I mentioned last time, I got an N64. For my birthday, I got a NES off my lovely girlfriend. Literally last week, I bought a Sega Mega Drive.
Wow, that was my first console I ever had.
Yeah, it was £25. I couldn't leave it. It was boxed. It's a Mega Drive 2. And the only reason it was that cheap was because the controller's not an original. It's like, okay, cool. Whatever.
I don't care.
Yeah.
You get much games for it yet?
I've got 6, technically. I bought 1 cartridge which has 3 of them on, which is, well, I'll list them off. There's only 6. It was Revenge of the Shinobi. I got, when I was looking at a top 10 list, it's in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
As is Golden Axe, which is on there.
I used to play that.
Yeah, and the one that was voted the best game is also on there, which is Streets of Rage.
I've actually played that recently because I've got I bought the PS3 sort of disc which had like a bunch of the old games bundled on it.
Nice. It's a fun game, actually, like, surprisingly.
I used to play it back in the day as well. Like you don't really. I'm about to say you don't really get them anymore, but you kind of wouldn't because games generally aren't like 2D scrollers these days. But you know, just the walking around punching things.
Yeah.
A bit like, you know, Golden Axe or what was it, Legend of the Beast or something.
Yeah, they're all pretty much the same, those 3, which are all on the same cartridge, like I say.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2 I did get was I got Sonic 2 because it was really cheap, and it's apparently the best of all the Sonics.
Probably is. I think that, I'm trying to remember if I've even finished that one. That might be the one I haven't completed.
Yeah, I got to the end boss. It's hard.
Nope. I have finished it, but I did not get all the Chaos Emeralds.
Oh, I see. No. And the last game I got was actually the Jurassic Park game, which was the Rampage edition.
I used to have that. I don't remember if it was Rampage. I don't know if it's different, but
apparently it's just harder.
I used to. I remember because you were either Grant or the dinosaur. I think I probably played the dinosaur more because you kill like the smaller ones for health and eat them.
Yeah. I've only played as Grant at the minute. It's a hard game. I've managed to clear 3 of the zones and that, but it doesn't save.
That's one of the slight advantages about like the re-release for like PS3. I think there's one for PS4 as well. Is you can't actually save, which I know this is going to sound like a complete fucking cheat. It's probably the only reason I have completed like Sonic recently because I have been able to like stop and save progress. Because otherwise, old games are too hard. Like honestly, the only well-known old game I can definitely say I've completed without cheating is the Mario for the Game Boy, and my God, that was a struggle, but I fucking eventually did it.
Yeah. Or Mario 2, which is the Golden Rings one as well.
Oh,
I know my girlfriend's done that. I haven't. I've never done that. I mean, she's a much better gamer than I am anyway, mind you. As you all probably seen on her channel anyway.
Speaking of games and women, I suppose, I've just finished Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Ah, right, yes. How was it?
It was very. Do you know what? It's kind of weird because it was very good, but I don't have that strong feelings having finished it. That might sound like a really weird thing to say. I think it's like a quality product, but it's I think it's kind of like how people describe a lot of the Marvel movies these days. They're good, but they're not surprising. It's like that's great, as in it was on par with the last few,
Yeah, I see.
but like nothing really new at all has been brought to the table.
I was a little worried that might be the case with it. Like, they found a formula and just stuck with it.
Which I don't know if I want to get too much into it. If you ask me, as someone who knows a bit about the history of the series, stagnation is kind of what killed the old series, like in the core design days.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they released the last few titles had basically no innovation, and then it got to a point where they became so innovative that it kind of fucked up everything. Like they were tried so hard.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, even quite early on in it, the 1, 2, and 3, they built upon it. So 1 was, a great formula. 2 built on that. 3 built on that. And then 4 was exactly the same as 3 was.
Yeah, the only difference between 3 and the first 2 was you could crawl. God, I'm trying to think. The only difference I can think of the top of my head from 2 is that you have a button to take out the flares instead of just selecting them from your menu.
And I think you can do like a jump, backflip, forward.
Oh, yeah, you can't. 4, the only difference I remember is they changed the menu screen and you had like a weapon where you could actually sort of aim with the joystick.
Oh, really? I only have played 1, 2, and 3 quite a lot. I've not played much of 4.
5 was pretty much exactly the same. 5 was justifiably criticized for pretty much what I said, whereas like there's just a total lack of innovation, considering it's the 5th in the fucking series.
Yeah.
And then 6 was Angel of Darkness, which is its own shit show where things just became a bit too different to the point where it also got kind of unfinished and rushed, and no one liked the game, and it's fucking near unplayable.
I think it started to get better again with Legends, I think. It was quite nice.
Well, Legend was when Square Enix... No, well, it wasn't Square Enix. They recently... Legends when Crystal Dynamics took over, rebooted the series. So again, it was kind of fresh. You had Legend, which is a really fun game. It's one of the ones I probably played the most. Just because it's just, easy to play. There's only like 7 levels or something. It's like, I want a distraction for an hour. Boom.
Yeah.
Anniversary, which is like, although it's a remake of the first game, is really fucking good.
I like the Anniversary, yeah.
And then you get then you get Underworld, which again is kind of the same problem. Doesn't really build up on what happened before it. It's just more of the same, and I'd argue the game itself's kind of dull. I don't know if this is getting a bit too theory kind of, but it's the kind of pattern, and I'm sure people can identify this in other series as well. You'll get some good games, but then they just stop innovating at the point, whereas it's not really that special. And I don't want to sound like I'm really coming down on Rise of the Tomb Raider. It is actually a very good game. I think part of the problem as well, like by the time I finished it was like 3 in the morning and I was very tired. It's just, but no, there was nothing particularly special, but it was a pretty solid game. There was a nice stealth mechanic which they brought in.
Yeah, it looks fun though, like.
Yeah.
The last ones were really good.
They've pretty much they've ended that kind of trilogy which started with the first reboot,
Oh,
like
really?
Tomb Raider 2030, and there's kind of an ongoing trilogy of stories. They've pretty much rounded that off at this point. So I'm hoping if they do another one, it'll be like they'll do something completely different.
I hope so. Oh no, that's something at least.
Like it's weird. Like Uncharted, kind of the opposite. They start off with a game which I thought was kind of it was good but not great, and just got better with every fucking sequel.
It really did. Four was my favourite by far. Like,
Four is the best of that series, and I'm not sure if I want to count Lost Legacy as a sequel or more of a spin off, but it's good. But four's still better.
I really like Lost Legacy as well, but I think two's probably the next best, ironically.
I'd say two and three are about par for their quality of gameplay.
Yeah, I think two was just impressive because of what happened with part one. Like you say, it was a little, not to be that guy, it was a little uninteresting, to be honest. It was just a game. It was a fine game, it just wasn't great.
Yeah, there's a lot of stretches in one where it's you're basically just shooting people in the jungle,
Oh, God, yeah.
which gets kind of
Yeah.
boring, which is why when like two and the other sequels came around, they're like a variety of like action sequences and areas that kind of really spiced it up.
You could stealth it a lot easier if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah, they
Go on with.
a bit like how they've done with the modern Tomb Raiders, they've kind of worked on the stealth more as times went along.
That's kind of cool.
So it honestly it was a good game, and I'm glad I got the steelbook version with the figurine. That was kind of cool.
Nice.
I'll probably play it again fairly soon and like try and get 100% like the other ones, like
Yeah.
explore all the tombs and all the hidden stuff. But yeah, it was decent. I just hope if they do another one, they'll maybe shake it up a bit more.
They just don't make another movie.
Oh my god. Fucking speaking of uninteresting, I constantly forget that movie even fucking exists.
No, so do I.
God, do you know what? The Jolie ones get some shit. I have rewatched them.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about rewatching them recently as well, just for funsies.
Yeah, just for nostalgia as well, because they're kind of old now, but they're also kind of fun as well.
Do you know what? We're talking about Angelina Jolie and Tomb Raider there. That has reminded me of something I'm going to have to share with you.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to share it with the audience as well, but in edited form.
Yeah.
You know, every so often I'll get into a mood, like with the new Tomb Raider coming out, I was in like a bit of a Lara Croft mood again, because I do have a bit of a Tomb Raider like memorabilia collection. It is something I've been a fan of since I was very young. So I was looking for Tomb Raider stuff on eBay, Lara Croft. Fuck me. Came across this lovely piece of artwork.
Oh, there it is. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. Somebody, is that like a fan has painted that and is trying to sell it?
A fan has painted a rather pornographic nude Angelina Jolie. God,
I mean, it's a decent painting, but it's not like something that should exist.
man, I could buy 2 Chris Chan autographs for that.
I don't know where you would get ripped off more.
Oh god, I mean, I know the internet's full of deviants and shit. Not that I think this is necessarily that deviant. I wouldn't do it myself, like paint this, but eBay?
Not very classy. Though, is it?
I know that's fucking
Lecherous.
yeah. So I suffice to say I didn't purchase this. I got other things.
No, I see.
Oh, actually, I didn't. I've kind of got like a bobblehead on the watch list. I wouldn't mind having.
Bobblehead knife.
But Christ.
I mean, that's quite shocking, even like
Yeah.
on eBay. I'm surprised that's still up.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up. I'm obviously gonna fucking black box it, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still up. It reminded me of an idea we had a while ago. I'm not gonna do it with this episode, but maybe future, where we were looking for random shit on eBay. I forgot if it was you or me who mentioned it. Let's search for Love Doll. Put it like
Okay,
highest
yeah.
price first. And like the first result was this fucking cloth-faced anime monstrosity.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Which, thanks to now being on my fucking eBay search, I was seeing ads for like a fucking month afterwards. On any other website I was looking at.
It was like when you got me to watch that Guys and Dolls thing. Jeez.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, mate. I know people's life choices are their own. That's fine. But my God, you're still weird. Okay, like not you.
Oh, yeah. I know I am weird. I don't have like a collection of 8 full-size real dolls.
God, I hope not. But
And then,
you also don't have dinner conversations
yeah,
with them.
and then wonder why, once I've revealed that fact to my girlfriend, she didn't come back.
Oh, God, I know. Like, he was serious as well. He couldn't believe it. Like, she came, well, one of them came to this person's house, and they were all sat waiting for them, and, like...
as if posed and sat down for dinner.
Oh, but that's normal, that, you know. Christ. I'm sorry, at one time, that person would have been locked away, and I'm not saying he should be. I'm not. Like, you know, again, everyone's entitled to their own life choice, but everyone's also entitled to criticize you for it.
You know, people can do things with their, you know, sex toys and shit. I mean, I'm not going to go too into it personally, but, you know, people can have their things, have their fun. But I think when you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars on 8 fucking, essentially dead human forms to fuck... and pose, like, family photos with. You're the guy who doesn't get invited to actual family events.
Yeah.
For fear that you may bring one of your lady friends.
Yeah. And again, like, you know, if it's that's the sort of thing you're into, and you don't let people know about that, and you do have that amount of disposable income, even, let's say, that you're not ruining your life for it. A lot of them aren't, and a lot of them are actually struggling to pay their bills and things. I can see a solution, dude. You know what I mean? Like, that's the worst part about it, when it starts to actually affect your life.
To know the worst part of that, Doc, was the guy who does the repair business and was describing about cleaning out all this smelly gunk.
Oh, and then every so often you'll look at one and think, God, I could...
oh no, he doesn't just think, he actually fucks one of them. That's great.
Yeah. So you put your, I don't know, is it personal? I guess it's personal.
It's not like
your personal sex doll.
Jeez, it's not like, it's like lending a shirt to a friend. Your friend jizzes in that shirt and then gives it back to you.
Well, it's like using a laundrette and then finding out that the person who washed your coat was wearing it for a week. You know, you'd be a little bit annoyed.
But didn't clean it.
Yeah.
Although I suppose he did clean it, but still, God.
I know.
Anyway, speaking about maladjusted retards, I've been on Chris Chan's Twitter again.
Yeah.
God, you know what? I swear, like, I do feel kind of bad, or maybe like I'm a bit of a bully because I just fucking follow him for this purpose. But when you look, the majority of his followers, none of them like him.
Yeah. Most of his followers do that.
Barring about maybe 5 people, every fucking comment he has are people basically rebuking what he's saying, for fuck's sake, dude, get help, get a life, get a job. How about you pay rent instead of going to a fucking brony con?
Yeah, that's the worst thing about him, probably. Even with the guys and dolls people, if you can't afford to live, change your life.
Well, from what I remember, at least those guys actually like had their own homes.
Yeah, most of them.
Oh shit, one of them didn't. I just remembered that.
Yeah.
Oh God, to be his parents.
Yeah.
So,
what was it, Borb, or Bob, again, finding Chris Chan in the kitchen.
Masturbating.
Yeah. Is that with Julie as well?
It might have been one of the Julie, like, Blue Spike pranks, but I believe the love doll is called Kimmy.
Yeah.
And there was one called Officer Nasty. Jelly!
Well,
that was a wonderful gif. So yeah, anyway, he's been a bit angry again. Well, at least as of 30th of September. I quote, "Okay, I'm feeling a little pissed right now. Lightning Bliss blocked me on Twitter, and it's obvious to me what happened. A bunch of hating trolls and bullies messaged her at my expense with the use of my name. That is just wrong. I mean, Bliss is a very good, kind, and awesome Pegasister of the Brony analysts. She does great work in her Animotions, vectors, and having fun, and I'm all too aware of how emotional she gets, which is something the haters of the internet still do not comprehend." And, you know, someone agreed with him.
Oh, really? Oh, God.
People agreed with him, saying, don't worry about it, Christine, you're a lovely person. And, he replied, thank you, I'm glad, people can agree with this, and hopefully we'll all love and hold hands.
Yeah.
Of course, when someone rightfully replied this, which is, I actually asked this person what the deal was, and here's the screenshot.
Oh, what, you actually messaged someone?
This person actually messaged someone. It was a guy called Rocker at Rocker182. At Lightning Bliss, can you tell us why you blocked Chris Chan because of her own actions and not because of a troll fan base. And like, the response was, my decision to block said person was done simply because I don't wish to be followed by an individual that has a reputation that I don't wish to interact or socialize with based on their actions. This was professional reasons. Thank you. Funny enough, when people post stuff like that in response to Chris, he doesn't fucking reply.
He just masks himself from the world at that point.
I mean, you know, I suppose he's got his fucking polyamorous relationship to take solace in. This is actually something that's kind of ongoing and I only recently learned about. I did remember it mentioned on Twitter that it wasn't a polyamorous relationship, so my fucking first thought was, he's probably involved with some fucking, the type, we all know them.
Yeah, brony people.
Yeah, people who, like, fuck each other, have disgusting sex, and, it's all love and all that stuff.
Yeah.
For the record, I'm not opposed to that necessarily. It's just the types of people I'm envisioning are probably the exact kind of people.
Yeah.
You know, land whales, pink hair, no sense of hygiene.
No sense of humour.
Yeah, so anyway, that was my thought. It turns out the people who were involved in it, they aren't actually people like that. They are fictional characters, which he has drawn and posted on his ceiling. He was talking for all this long about being in an actual relationship with them. There are people from the sister dimension.
Oh, yes. I remember him getting really angry that somebody said that, made him say that Billy Mays was the mayor of...
Quickville.
Oh, dear.
So, here's a little tweet, just from a couple of days ago, actually. I just finished watching Brokeback Mountain with Magi-chan, Krizel, Sylvana, Mewtwo, Patty, and Fate here. It's a good movie. It had great story development and character growth throughout. Now, why did I deny myself watching it before now? Some people obviously replied because you were a homophobic prick and may still be. And Chris also commented, forgot to mention Fate is our Pikachu friend. He showed up at the nearby Target a month or two ago and was able to talk with and understand him. And we brought him home here. So that's completely sane. And... also felt like mentioning, I looked online just now, and I was unable to find much fan art of Magi-chan, Krizel, Sylvana, Mewtwo, and I together. We are married. I'm surprised no one drew us, or even a piece of us with just 2 or out of us 5. Positive fanfic stories are encouraged. I mean, I'm not being pushy or anything, it was only an observation that surprised me and left, me puzzled. Because people's lives don't revolve around him and his imaginary fucking relationships. By the way, when he mentions Mewtwo... he means he is actually married to the Pokemon Mewtwo.
Why would you... How is that in any way...
How is that in any way fucking sane? I am well, apparently he's tried it and, the doctors are all wrong. The dimension does exist and he does have psychic powers. Because that's what a sane person would say.
Yeah, well...
I'm kind of, do you know what, I'm kind of, on the whole spectrum thing, I'm kind of getting thrown around again, like, on the verge of feeling sorry for him, because he clearly needs to be fucking medicated and sectioned.
Yeah, no, he does, sadly. That's dangerous.
When the remaining half of Borb dies,
Borb.
I have a feeling he's not going to have any link to reality left.
No, I know. He's going to, I guarantee it. Guarantee he'll speak to his mother when she's gone.
I'm sorry, people might think it's wrong. I'm not using the preferred pronouns. To be honest, I don't think, and my friend Canadian Emily doesn't think either, that Chris is really trans. They're just a fucking moron.
Yeah.
So don't come at me with those bullshit personal pronoun things. This is, and I'm not even trying to use this word in a cruel, picky kind of way. This is a retard.
Yeah.
Who is obviously not developed. I mean, that's not even fucking up for discussion. He's not. He's somewhat Aspergic, autistic. And on top of that, also appears to be completely fucking delusional.
I mean, genuinely insane.
God,
the scary part,
As interesting and as fascinating as it is, and I have spent hours not only watching the documentaries, but also on Wikipedia, where I get a lot of this bullshit from. As interesting as all that is, it's getting to the point where it's just getting sad again. Yeah.
I find it very difficult to have any sympathy for him, but I am a lot meaner than you are.
Well, the thing is, I start getting sympathy for him, and then he does something which just makes me think, oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah. I think it's because he's genuinely a horrible person as well.
No, he is.
He might need help and all that sort of thing, but even after that, he would still be a horrible person.
Let's lighten the mood with some badass news, actually. At least this is pretty badass. You've probably heard of this as well. It's been floating around a bit. Girl 8 pulls 1,500-year-old sword from a lake in Sweden.
Oh, yeah, I read it. Well, I just saw a little pop-up article for it. I think that's awesome.
8-year-old found a pre-Viking era sword while swimming in a lake in Sweden during the summer. I'm going to butcher her name here. Saga Vanekek found the relic in Widerstern Lake at their family's home in Jönköping County.
That's awesome, man.
That is so cool. That's like fucking Arthurian mythology levels of so cool. That is just...
Oh, that is class.
Yeah, God, like, why didn't I find shit like that? I went looking for shit like that when I was a kid. I think the most I found was, like, bits of broken mining pottery and shit.
Yeah. Oh, no, that was awesome. Especially, like, us. We actually met doing archaeology at college.
Oh, shit, that's right.
Yeah.
We met in archaeology, but bonded over Doctor Who. And what Doctor Who would be like if it was played by Arnold Schwarzenegger and a sexual deviant.
A sex offender. We were great.
We were so cool. No, that's kind of cool. Of course, you can't have fun without bringing in politics, because one of the fucking tweets I saw about this was oh great, now she can come here and kill Trump.
Oh, really?
Because you know what? You can't say anything online without referencing Donald Trump.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't mind if they genuinely had any... Well, I don't know, if they just didn't want him to get the publicity, stop giving it to him.
Hey, do you know what? If you feel like criticizing Trump, go ahead. I think his environmental and business policies are fucking appalling and will do nothing but bad things.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to say he's a Nazi, though, because he's not.
Again, we go on about this every time. It's just a word now.
By the way, this has been hammered on quite a lot recently, but it's very true, so it is worth repeating.
Yeah.
You know the bullshit with ICE and the detention centres for immigrants and the separation of children?
Yeah.
That's not only been going on for years, it was started by the fucking Clintons.
That's right.
Yeah. And in its current form was put in place by Barack Obama, so fuck you.
You know the Lord and Saviour that they keep going on about.
Oh yeah, because
actually
remember that period. Despite the fact that like evil white men rule the world, but you know a black guy was president. Remember that?
Yeah,
it's funny.
I liked Obama, to be honest with you. But
I liked him for the most part. He wasn't a saint, but you know what? No world leader is a saint.
No politician.
You almost cannot be, because the world is just too shitty a place.
Yeah.
At some point along the line, you're going to give an order that's going to get people killed.
Well, that's it, and that's the hard decision they have to make. So, in some respect, I have respect for that, because I couldn't do it.
Oh yeah,
I couldn't do it. Yeah.
I'd struggle with it, but you know, it's Trump. Let's not let facts muddy our rage.
I know. God.
Anywho. Badass sword. My God,
awesome.
That's pretty cool. With a brief sprinkling of modern millennial retarded bullshit.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah.
Oh well, yeah. I was talking about like, of course they brought it back to Trump.
Yeah.
Speaking of millennial morons, a little article on BBC News. I was looking for some deaths just to include, because it seems to be one of our running themes for some reason.
Yeah.
Interesting article on Newsbeat from the 4th of October. Selfie deaths. 259 people reported dead seeking the perfect picture.
Oh, really?
The quest for extreme selfies has killed 259 people between 2011 and 2017, a 2018 global study has revealed. Including deaths from tops of mountains, tall buildings, lakes where many of the deaths occurred, drowning, transport accidents, and falling were found to be the most common cause of death. Also, death by animals, electrocution, fire, and firearms.
Fire? What? How? Posing with their guns or something like?
Not sure, but I'm immediately thinking of that news story we covered where the guy for the viral video got his girlfriend to shoot him and he died.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of that.
In July this year, 19-year-old Gavin Zimmerman fell to his death while taking selfies on a cliff of New South Wales. Toma Frankfurter died in California's Yosemite National Park in September after falling 250 meters while trying to take a selfie. They found that selfie-related deaths are most common in India, Russia, and the United States and Pakistan, and 72.5% of those reported are men.
Yeah.
New studies show that the number of deaths are on the rise. There were only 3 reports of selfie-related deaths. That there's actually a term. That's wow.
Yeah.
3 reported deaths in 2011, but that number grew to 98 in 2016 and 93 in 2017. However, the actual number could be much higher as they are not listed specifically as that on the cause of death.
Lost for words.
So, like many things, South Park kind of hit that thing on the head with their fucking meme thing. Oh, Long Charleston! So Darwinism! I feel bad at criticising because, you know, I take pictures at high places. I also like to think I'm relatively safe, though.
Yeah, like, you wouldn't take a photo just randomly.
Oh, like, I mean, we went to me and one of my friends went to the lakes, like, last week to do, like mountain hiking. And, honestly, we didn't actually hit any of the main tops just because the wind was, like, super bad. Conditions were a bit dicey. And I was tired anyway, so that also really helped the decision. But by the time it came the next morning, I was like, do you know what? It's kind of dangerous. Let's just not needlessly risk our own lives and safety. Let's just go down and have fun.
Yeah, and this is like a safer route as well, though, isn't it? Like, and compared with some of the shit these people are doing.
Oh yeah, I mean,
they'll be doing it in like genuinely always dangerous areas.
I mean, fair enough. We camped out next to an abandoned mine, but we didn't go into the mine and dangled off the edge for a good picture.
Although that would have been baller.
Do you know what? This is the most hypocritical thing ever. But if I go back there, I wouldn't mind taking a look. I wouldn't necessarily go like right in and put myself at risk, but I wouldn't mind, you know, maybe shining a torch in just to get like a good look at the place.
It's a bit of curiosity, yeah.
Yeah. God, I had some amusing nightmares that night about like creatures dragging me out the tent.
Oh really?
Yeah. Anyway, yes. Young people are stupid and get themselves killed.
Oh man, it's the fact that it's a selfie as well. Like, it's such a bland millennial.
God, the fucking section underneath, like more on this story. Israeli teen dies at Yosemite. Girl age 12 dies after taking extreme selfie. Man hit by train in quest for perfect selfie. Holy shit! I just clicked on that. It's like literally a split second before the thing fucking hits him.
Oh what? Wow! So you can actually see the train approach.
Oh yeah, it's like a meter away from him.
Ooh.
Holy fuck.
Don't know if I'd like to see that.
Oh,
cringy.
God. Do you know what? I get it. You know, I don't really get it, but I understand to a degree. You know, it's a trend thing. People do stupid things for trends.
Yeah.
Think it through, though. What if you did take the best selfie on Earth, like the greatest selfie ever taken? That will be relevant probably for about 20 minutes. Until
somebody else takes the greatest selfie ever taken.
Or until some other fucking trend comes about.
Yeah. Like, it's such a flighty world nowadays.
Like, but, you know, selfies and popularity, they're temporal. Being dead is eternal.
I haven't a clue what I'm doing on the likes of Instagram and things like that. And that is just me being an old man, probably, but I don't see the appeal either. I find it kind of dull.
I have an
there and take photographs of your lunch and shit, and it's like, well done.
I have an Instagram, but it's something I've never really used.
Same, yeah.
Are you doing something? Because I can just hear a lot of noise.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I've got a bit of a cold.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a Pinterest, which I use mainly just for browsing photos, and sometimes there's cool little ideas or things on there. And I've only recently, as in the last few months, kind of got into Twitter.
Yeah, I've got a Twitter account.
I don't post a whole lot of it, but I found it quite good for like keeping up to events, especially concerning such people as Chris Chan, admittedly. But, you know, other things like a lot about, you know, the Kavana stuff recently and a lot of public opinion and people's takes on it. It's kind of cool for getting like that.
Getting the actual stories and that sometimes.
Or even if I am just commenting on people's opinions, like just seeing what people are saying about this.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So, yes, people are killing themselves for selfies.
Worth. Oh, dear. The world's a weird place, isn't it? Like, It's always been odd, but recently it's gotten worse.
I don't know if the world's gotten worse or the internet just brings exposure to idiocy.
Yeah, that's almost certainly.
You know,
Slightly.
in the old days, you might have thought it was like a good idea to drink fuel, but then what would happen is you'd die, but no one would really know about it. These days, a few million people will know about it.
I remember Stanley getting into hot water because apparently somebody set themselves on fire, so he was like the Human Torch.
I remember that.
There's another idiot gone.
I remember another one. I can't remember if they were playing World of Warcraft or League of Legends or some bullshit like that, or maybe even Skyrim. But he thought he was a fire mage and like swallowed some fuel and let himself on fire.
Oh, we lost another moron.
Yeah, call me cold and callous or whatever, but it's like when people like that die or whatever, or again, you know, like that guy who got brain damaged in the protest because he was being a fucking violent, like, maniac.
Yeah.
Nothing of value was lost.
No, you really hate that guy. You bring him up every show.
I do, because you know what? I like it when dickheads, like, something happens where they've just had it coming.
Like, actually get a comeuppance. Yeah, it's nice.
If you want, you know what? Protesting this shit's fine, but when it gets to the point where like you're physically assaulting and potentially killing or brain damaging other people, I don't care if it happens to you. You fucking had it coming. You deserved it.
He did, yeah.
God, if he fucking died when he hit his head off the ground, I wouldn't care anymore either.
Right. Win.
I wouldn't care less, but of course people with bleeding hearts will say how cruel it is.
Yeah.
It's like when murderers are put to death. I used to be anti-death penalty at one point as well, but God, I don't know if I've just become like really calloused, but I don't care.
I think in the right circumstances, I'm totally for it.
When it's a certain thing.
Yeah, that's the only thing it will be abused, sadly, and it will.
But it's kind of weird because I watched. I don't know if you've actually seen this on Netflix, but the dramatization, The People versus O.J. Simpson.
Oh no, I've not seen it. I didn't know that was on.
Oh, it is quite good, but I'm one of those people who was like always said that OJ was guilty. To be honest, I think he is guilty. He definitely fucking killed those two people.
Yeah.
As far as my opinion goes, anyway. But at the same time, there was enough evidence in his trial to at least suggest a bit of reasonable doubt that something may have been tampered with.
Yeah.
And when it is a trial, usually that's all you need. Like, if there is a bit of reasonable doubt, then you can't say for certain that someone's innocent. And as bad as it is, and as much as I think he is guilty, I think in that circumstance, the jury may have been correct, just going off the evidence provided.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I'm sorry, I was wiping my nose again. But no, he was acquitted for a reason, and people seem to forget that. I personally, like you say, sorry, I reckon he was guilty.
I think he's guilty as fuck, but the thing is, he may have been guilty of the murder, but I think there's a very good possibility the cops may have also been planting evidence to increase their case.
Yeah.
And there's enough reasonable doubt there where I can see why someone may feel uneasy about saying 100% guilty.
Exactly, yeah, and again, that's why he is free.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
you've got to respect that in some way.
At least until he started doing some other stupid shit and got in jail, but yeah.
But yeah, what was it? He was stealing something.
He robbed a jewelry. He was like involved in like a jewelry store robbery or something, and God.
You'd think you'd just keep your nose completely clean if you'd actually got away with murder, like, wouldn't you?
Then again, if you got away with murder, you might start thinking you're invincible.
Yeah, God, aye.
Oh.
Especially if he's got that same lawyer.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know why I want to bring up this story because it's another bit of a downer, but I feel it's like my place. You know, I was criticizing Buddhism last week. I've criticized Islam more than a few times.
Yeah.
Let's throw some shit at Hinduism for a bit. You know, let make everything all equal. I actually saw this in the Hindustan Times. I forgot how I came across this story, but it was interesting. 90-year-old Dalit man burnt alive for trying to enter a temple.
Really?
Basically, that's it. He was a 90-year-old man. He was attempting to enter a temple. He got set fire upon by a guy who was probably drunk. You might not know what terms like Dalit mean. It's actually part of the old Indian caste system.
Right.
Basically, Dalits are the untouchables, like the fucking lowest of the low, considered scum by everyone.
Right.
Yeah, it's always amusing. It always amuses me when people talk about, you know, like the people's rights, but then, you know, they forget shit like this. It's like in Japan with the untouchable class as well.
Yeah.
Only that, like, no longer exists. It still does in parts of India.
Right.
So, yeah, incident took place in the presence of several other worshippers in Bilgoan, a village in the boundary between Hamipur and Jalon districts, located 140 kilometers from Kanpur. Police said the guy who did it, Tiwari, had been arrested after he was nabbed by other people. That's good. But again, it's because of absolute bullshit. Like, an elderly man was doused with kerosene and was set aflame.
Yeah.
Because of fucking religion, or at least people's cultural hang-ups.
Yeah. But again, you're not allowed to criticise that, though. You've got to be careful with that one.
Correction, you're allowed to criticize Christianity, apparently.
Yeah.
Again, I'm probably coming off as like a right white ring. I'm probably coming off as a Nazi, but but again, it's like what's acceptable in most media. You can criticize white people, you can criticize Christianity. For some reason, if it's another like ethnic group or religion, though, you're a racist.
You've just got to be silent about it.
No, but you know, here at this show, we are all inclusive. We truly are the equal. We truly are the equal people of the world. You know, everyone's a cunt.
Well, that's my philosophy, to be perfectly honest with you. Because they are.
Yeah.
Everybody can be, and everybody is at times, myself included, unreasonably dickish, or you know, a cunt.
I might actually put a link to this in the description somewhere. I saw a really good documentary on the Dalit class on like Al Jazeera. It's on their YouTube channel. I might post it if people are interested, because it's kind of eye opening. Like, this is shit that you feel like should have like died out centuries ago.
Yeah.
Like the idea that there's like a subhuman class in society, but it's still fucking alive and well in some parts.
That's weird. Like, it seems so alien because we are privileged to be in a quote unquote free country. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of mad. But I'm sorry for bringing down the tone, but I kind of I feel like I need to mention awful things every so often just for like perspective. Because you know what?
If it's not spoken about, then it's ignored, isn't it? And that's the way.
Or not spoken about much, because you know you can. Again, I feel in the same way that I feel like a lot of feminists in this side of the world bitch about absolutely fucking nothing.
Yeah.
And a lot of social justice people bitch about absolutely fucking nothing. I feel like it's worth bringing up like serious shit that is still going on, like things that actually deserve attention, like actual social problems.
Yeah. Does that mean this person is dead now because of this social attitude?
Yeah. Actually, I wasn't sure if it actually said. It does actually say he died because he wasn't just set on fire. He was also attacked with an axe.
Oh, jeez.
So
the fact that he's so subhuman to this person, though, that
he wasn't. He was being like refused entry to the temple. He wanted to go in anyway, so this guy attacked him.
Okay, Jesus.
So yep, everyone sucks.
What a wonderful world.
I see fields of green.
God.
Let's touch on it briefly on a bit of a lighter controversy. Did you know there's a film coming out soon called First Man, which is about like the Armstrong Aldrin
Really?
launch? Yeah, I'm actually quite excited to see it, starring Ryan Gosling. But that has actually come to a bit of fire recently because some people have been saying that the American flag is basically being ignored.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's not actually featuring very heavily in it. Apparently it's bullshit, because some people were saying that it's been cut out completely. It hasn't been, but it's very much in the background. And, like, the scene where they actually plant the American flag was either being cut out, or it's just not shown at all, or it wasn't filmed. And some people, including Buzz Aldrin himself, are kind of saying, you know, this is bullshit. Like, I'm all for the achievements of people, but, you know, us Americans, we did kind of do this.
Yeah.
This was an American achievement.
It was, yeah. And I'm not into that whole conspiracy. It never happened bullshit, I'll be honest.
Oh, I'm not. Like, the controversy is more that they're suggesting that the American flag was omitted because, you know, for international feelings.
Okay.
But no, apparently it's bullshit. It is actually in there, they just don't have the actual scene. I don't know too much about what to make about this, because it is there, but people have kind of made statements like, Actually,
Yeah.
this fucking amuses me. This article I'm looking at, which is space.com, mentioned something about right-wing Twitter users having issues with this. Are they really right-wing, or is it just a case of like someone disagrees
Yeah,
with the author of this article?
I'm going to assume it's the latter.
No, but again, it's not entirely without criticism, even though the flag will feature in the film. The director Damien Chazelle said to address the question whether or not this is a political statement, the answer is no. My goal is with this movie to share with audiences the unseen, unknown aspects of America's mission to the moon, which is really cool because it's very much about like Neil. It's going to be about sort of Neil Armstrong, especially.
Yeah, cool.
I do feel like Buzz gets a bit of the raw end of the stick about that, but it has been said from people like Ryan Gosling that it should be considered, humanity's achievement, not just America's, which it kind of is, but don't downplay history. It was
there was a space race.
There was a space race, and there was two powers in. One won, one lost.
Yeah.
Like, if they do a film of Yuri Gagarin and it's, like, released internationally and I go and see it, I'm not going to be offended that it's the hammer and sickle on the spaceship.
Well, exactly.
Because it's what actually happened.
Yeah, don't censor history. That's the saddest thing you can do, actually.
No, censoring history is like, I'm not big on censorship, but when you censor history, that's, like, the greatest of sins to me.
Yeah.
It's like just denying that wrong things have happened.
And they've done that with the Second World War for a lot of different things as well.
This is a news story from years ago I remember watching. There's a guy who, like, dresses as Hitler in Austria and gets in trouble all the time. I don't know if he's actually a racist or it's an excuse, but he says he does this because Austrian society purposely tries to downplay, like, its fucking part in horrific atrocities.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, you're not allowed to dress or make reference to Hitler in some areas. His excuse is he just wants people to recognize that history is a thing.
I get that. I think you might be going about it in a way that I don't disagree with it, but I would never practice, and I wouldn't encourage, to be honest with you, because it might just upset families of those who are
Again, I'm a little bit on the fence about whether or not to get that Nazi costume for my Red Skull cosplay, but
just don't go to Austria.
Yeah. Then again,
Yeah,
I don't know if there's many neo-Hydronites hanging around these days. In the world of reality. I'm suddenly in the mood to watch Captain America. I might put it on.
Oh, that was a good film.
I think it's honestly, I think it's the most underrated of all the Marvel films. I don't know why people seem to shit on that one.
And everyone seems to think the second one was better. I disagree entirely. First one was way better than the second one. Now I like the second one.
Yeah, no, same. But what were we talking about? Oh yes, despite all this controversy, I suppose we'll find out for ourselves what it's like, because we're not experts, although actually I think you probably will know more about this than me on this subject, but know a bit about the space race. Like, I've watched things, it's an interest of mine, so
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll know this if I see the film, which I probably will if there's anything, like, out of place.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because if you ask...
I wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't mind, because if you ask me, the landing on the moon as well as the first man in space are, like, probably the greatest achievements, like, our species has ever had.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And
To set foot off this world is insane.
It's kind of sad that it's just given so little these days.
Yeah. Oh, the whole... I'm pretty sure there's no space funding anymore in England, especially. And I know NASA's struggling because nobody wants to give money to it yet. Movies about it, though.
Well, that's why you
Hopefully
have...
that brings popular demand, I guess.
That's why you have people like Elon Musk, like, funding their own projects, which... He's been a bit controversial recently as well, but I am very interested to see where this goes, especially with the Mars stuff.
Oh, that would be sweet. I hope he goes ahead with it.
Yeah. So a lot of it seems to be hearsay, and I don't know if people on either side are just blowing out of proportion. But first man, I suppose we'll just see it for ourselves.
I'd like to see it. Definitely watch that. We'll do a review.
Yeah, I like a good history like biopic.
No, so especially when it's... I think it's, like you said, it's one of the most important things to ever happen in the history of mankind.
My God, like, just thinking about it, like, having chills, like, setting foot on another astral body.
I'd give anything, honestly. That'll be just the coolest thing.
Okay, now
I'd say I'd give anything. I won't give my time and money, apparently, to move to America, work for NASA. Oh, dear.
It's probably a dead end anyway, I wouldn't worry.
Yeah, these days.
So, yeah, we'll find out for ourselves. Anyway, we'll run out of time again, but I do want to get in another quiz. Now, since you and Ryan are apparently having 5 kids in the next year or something, I kind of forget what. I think it would be a good idea to maybe see how you're going to cope with all that shit going on in your life. So, again, I've went to the advanced science website known as BuzzFeed
Oh, yes.
to ask you and to find out how you respond to these 12 such stressful situations will reveal your personality type.
Okay.
So I guess what we're going to do is we're going to find out how good a father you are.
Oh.
So you're going to be presented with, I think your lady friend might want to pay attention too. Just saying. So you're going to be presented with 12 real-world scenarios. All you have to do is use the slidey scale, which I will use on your behalf, to rate how stressed they make you. Remember, it's important to answer as honestly as possible, because if you give a wrong result, god damn it, Jamie Jones, the staff writer who made this, is going to come down and kick you.
I hope so.
Question 1. Missing your morning alarm and waking up 15 minutes later than you normally do. Are you very relaxed, meh, stressed, or very stressed?
I'd probably be meh.
You are meh.
The reason being is I usually get up considerably early.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's only 15 minutes after me being considerably early, then I'm alright.
God, I get up at about 10 nearly every day. That might sound lazy, but my job, I actually work from like 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. So it's actually not that bad, because I have like a very late night usually.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to repeat the answers all the time because they're all the same. You just have to choose where you are in the scale. Question 2. Having a conversation sat across from someone who keeps their coffee right at the very edge of the table. How does that make you feel?
Not interested either way. I don't know what would be the best answer for that one.
Relaxed, very relaxed, meh?
Very relaxed.
Okay. Oh, I might be taking a bit of liberties with this. I thought it was like the scale just moves between these 6 points, but apparently it's a spectrum, so...
Oh, they're getting into it now.
Oh, God. I'm so glad this website is a thing. Anyway, planning an entire outfit for a party, only to notice a stain on your shirt as you're about to leave the house!
Meh.
Meh.
Change my shirt.
Is that your answer?
Yeah.
To be honest,
I'm very relaxed.
I have looked a bit like a slob for the past few days at work. Because I bought a hoodie specifically just to keep myself warm while working. But it was beige because it was the cheapest one, and me not really thinking it through, it gets dirty very fucking quick.
Oh, right.
So I looked like an absolute slob the past few days. I've since like bought a black one, so that's what I'm wearing tomorrow.
I think most of my answers are probably just going to be meh, you know. I am very relaxed as a person.
Well, let's get through it. Getting into work and suddenly thinking that you might have left the front door unlocked.
Oh, that might bother me, actually.
So you're like...
I would say I'd be stressed.
Yeah. It's not so much an issue for me because my door is one of the ones where you can't actually open it from the outside without a key, so whether it's locked or not, chances are no one's getting into it.
Aye, fair enough. No, I'd have to lock mine.
Except me, who I have actually... Anyway, I best not go into this. It's relating to my personal security. Anyway, sending a serious work-related email to your boss and accidentally ending it with a stuck-out tongue emoji. My boss would probably like that, so...
I was going to say, yeah, I wouldn't be terribly bothered with it. But let's say it was even an angry sort of boss, or a boss you're not familiar with, I would still probably be a bit meh.
Meh.
Meh. Like a sheep.
Speaking of sheep, my God, the Lake District is full of sheep.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Me and my friend Mark reckon there was probably one stalking our tents at night because we both like heard something like stomping around outside.
Oh God.
I hope it was a sheep and not like some sort of fucking mythical cave troll from the fucking abandoned mines.
That would be awesome.
Anyway, question 6. Agreeing to meet a friend at 2:30 p.m. but getting stuck on public transport knowing that you're not going to be at least 20 minutes late with no way of contacting them.
I'd just text you. That'd be meh.
Meh. That bothers me a little bit, but then again, nearly everyone I know is late for social meetings, late. So...
Quite a lot, yeah.
It's kind of just an accepted thing at life.
Yeah, like I'm late quite a lot, but that's mostly down to public transport.
Arriving at a family member's birthday party and realizing that you're the only person who didn't bring a gift.
Oh, I wouldn't be stressed. I don't know. What are the things again? Like,
It's just basically anything between very relaxed and very stressed.
all right.
Again, that wouldn't stress me. I'd probably just feel like a dick.
Yeah, but I don't want to. Because if I say very relaxed, that just makes me kind of like I don't care. I would care. I just wouldn't be stressed. I'd probably say I'll get you something next time I see you. Calm, relaxed.
Relaxed.
Yeah, not very relaxed, but relaxed.
Okay.
There's always something you can do.
Question 8. Checking your phone just after you left your house for the day and noticing you have less than 20% of battery left.
Oh, very relaxed.
Yeah, I've went like days without my phone before.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I do like having it because I do like to check things like Twitter or at least to watch videos when I'm not doing anything, but leaving it won't be the end of the world.
Well, I think that's the only thing I'd be less entertained throughout the day.
But then again, if I remembered to bring a book with me like I often do, I would think, okay, I guess I'll just read this. It'll give us an excuse to read more.
Yeah. So I'd be very relaxed.
Okay.
Very, very relaxed.
Receiving a phone call from a completely unknown number. This happens to me often. It's usually fucking marketing.
Yeah. Very relaxed.
So,
It doesn't bother me even slightly.
so chill, you're enjoying some kind of green goop drink, according to this picture. Question 10. Sitting at the window seat in public transport and noticing 10 minutes before you stop off that a stranger sat next to you has fallen asleep.
Very relaxed. I'd wake him up.
I don't know if I would.
Well, if he's in my way and I can't get out,
Yeah.
I'd wake him up. Otherwise, I'd just let him sleep. The public don't bother me at all. I don't get stressed in crowds or...
The only time recently the public has bothered me was when I was alone at the bus stop the other night and there was a fucking crazy guy shouting and kicking shit.
Yeah, then there's an issue, but that's on him. Like,
Oh, I was about to fucking attack him as well. I don't want to sound like totally psycho, but people had just gotten off a bus and it looked like he was gonna like jump on one of them.
yeah,
Luckily he didn't, but it looked like it was gonna get ugly.
why are people so stupid?
Don't know. I don't know if he was drunk or just high or fucking insane.
Probably a bit of all.
But question 11, sending a meme in a group chat only for it to be met with complete silence. Oh no, my memes!
Yeah, couldn't give two shits. I'd be very relaxed.
Final question. This will dictate your entire personality. Finishing a meal and starting to feel sick a couple of hours later, leading someone to suggest that maybe you've been food poisoned.
Oh, if I had actually been food poisoned. To be honest, me personally, it takes a lot to make me sick.
Yeah.
So it would actually have to be food poison. I'd be stressed, but not very stressed.
I've gotten ill from things I've eaten before. Like, I don't know if it's so much stress or just a fucking annoyance.
I'm just uncomfortable, yeah. Like, I'm not... again, I don't want to say relaxed, because I wouldn't be relaxed, but I don't think I'd be stressed either. That's weird. Maybe?
Oh, I've already done the results. You can't go back now.
Oh, no.
So, it has been judged by the brains of BuzzFeed that you are a thinker. You're confident in your ability to process information, come to your own logical conclusions. When those around you are happy to believe what they are told, you tend to be more critical and want to develop your own opinions. This allows you to stand up for what you truly believe in and makes you a person others look to when someone needs to take a stand. That is actually shockingly good.
Yeah, I'm going alright with that. I'll take that. Thanks, BuzzFeed.
Thanks, BuzzFeed.
So Ryan's got himself a thinking bitch.
Yeah, who's apparently popping out a shit ton of children within a year. I don't know if that's physically possible unless you're having, like, what?
Quintuplets.
Quintuplets, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm having 5 this year or something on it.
Oh my god, you'll be like a fucking engorged monster. You'll be like the Absorbalov.
Oh,
Only more...
what a terrible, terrible villain.
Yes!
No.
Only more tolerable.
Oh, because I'm not... I know you said Ricky Gervais. He's another person I hate.
I've weirdly cooled on him recently. I don't like his comedy, but, like, I'm not... Some of his opinions I kind of appreciate because he does piss off some fuckheads.
I don't know, I think anyone that got famous off the back of somebody else being dumb didn't deserve it.
Oh, no,
Like, recent fame was that Carl...
Pingleton.
The actor's name, yeah.
Gervais was famous before that happened, though.
I know, but that went on for so long, it just felt like an eternity. Like, that was when I really didn't like him. I didn't care about him until then.
Holy shit, this is a long show.
Oh, sorry.
Clearly, we have more to discuss, but we're going to have to leave that for another week. I have been Monodrew.
I've been Cambria.
And, I don't know, moral of the story... Pay attention to the flags you put on the moon?
Yeah.
Good night? Opening song was taken from Self-Deceived by X Takes Rux, who you can find at X Take Rux. That is xtakerux.bandcamp.com. That's their official website. You can also find them on YouTube, Twitter, and SoundCloud. Once again, that is X Take Rux. Other audio taken from various media found at archive.org.